Hey guys, I'm excited to announce that I'm launching thedominickcruz.com. That's where members can access content, perks, anything they want, free podcast episodes, fight predictions, bonus videos, all the behind the scenes stuff like the little interviews, me making fun of Bisping, me making fun of DC. You know, we all play around. It's lighthearted. We don't hate each other, even though sometimes it looks that way, I promise. And you'll find that out on this site that we're all just playing around. Also, I like to get Bruce Buffer content because that guy is a trip. You got to see him behind the scenes. It's wild. Get your first month free if you sign up for the main card or champion tiers for the rest of July. Members of the Hall of Fame tier get a thank you credit in the podcast, plus more cool stuff. Thank you for supporting me in the Love of War podcast. Make sure you sign up for the free month right now at thedominickcruz.com. You won't want to miss it. I'm going to give you guys all the behind the scenes stuff.
Dominick, the Dominator!
That is the dark sides of us that don't work, but they work perfectly for war. You can love somebody and still beat them up.
No, man, it's cool. Like I said, back in the day, not trying to fanboy out, but dude, you were a pretty big inspiration, especially to me and my brother coming up, because your style. I was one of the little guys.
You started at 35.
Yeah.
I
was a little guy, and back in our gym, we didn't have weight classes. So I always fought everybody bigger than me, and I saw your style.
When did you start that was the case where you didn't have weight classes? Like, what year?
Well, I was 15, so, man, this is over like about a decade and a half ago. I'm almost 35. I'm 34, so back in like 2008, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like that.
2007 to, like, I started in like 2006, right? But by 2000, I want to say like 12 was when we got merged from the WEC to the UFC. So in between that, it was kind of like there's a weight class, they're building it, but we don't know if we're going to make it a household weight class in the UFC, right?
Yeah.
So you're training in those days at 15, and you're doing mostly stand-up.
I started off kind of just with everything. We had a Jackson Satellite.
So you're like the first, almost not the first, but like one of the first people who did everything, not just like one. Like when I did it, you either were a wrestler and then you added things, or you were a boxer and then you added things, or you were a black belt or a jiu-jitsu expert and then you added MMA around it. But you were the first, like in that era where everything is used all at once, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it was mainly jiu-jitsu and striking base. Wrestling wasn't like as dominant as it is today. I think you needed some more fighters that really brought that really heavy into the game. We would go in there and we would literally just learn like a few chokes, and then we would just strap on the gloves and we would just throw hands, man. It was just how it was. And that's kind of how it started. But more or less to answer the question, yeah, it was mainly just MMA based. It wasn't like wrestling and striking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or grappling and striking. But we used to watch your stuff. We were fighting, I think you took it from, who was it? Brian Bowles, the WC title. Was that right?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, I remember that. Obviously, the first fight with Uriah Faber, the Jorgensen fight.
Yeah.
Was that Benuelos, or who would you fight?
After I fought Benavidez.
I remember the Benavidez one. Those one was
I
little
fought
Spanish guy.
Ivan Lopes. I fought.
Yeah, you fought a couple guys, scrappy too.
Yeah, and that was a southpaw. But yeah, I mean, I think it's always interesting to me to hear like guys like you that are a little younger than me, 6-7 years, but that would make you, all right, I want to be where he's at and take his title. Essentially, you would even think about maybe fighting me, I would imagine, right?
I wouldn't say that was a possibility. I'm like, could I beat this guy? I mean, I'm still not shit. You know what I mean? That's what was going on. I was like, your bumps, your darts, the footwork. Everybody used to call me like a rabbit in the gym just because I used to bounce around.
Yep.
You know, I'm like, well, I was like, he wouldn't get hit. I was like, but I would not be able to sit on my shots the way that I would want. So when I would enhance my footwork, it takes the power off, right? So I can stick you more. And that's why obviously it makes sense that you were almost like the unanimous decision king. You know what I mean? Just school you from round one all the way to the end. And so I was like, yeah, but that's his style. You know what I mean? I needed to add some more stuff. As time got older, we finally split it up. Even in the gym, we had lightweights and heavyweight classes now. And then Wink and Greg, they're like, we need to figure this out, because I was always getting stuck on the wall. And people couldn't trap me usually. They couldn't fight me. So they would almost like eat a couple shots just to just dive at me and just try to clinch some sort of way, and I would lose fights on the wall. they would just pin me there, and I'm just like, man, I was like, this is one way, this is an annoying way to lose, you know, and I had to figure it out. So Wink and Greg, they're like, no, we're gonna start going forward more. Let's put some pressure on people, and that's kind of how things just kind of changed.
Nice. So yeah, my mindset was, yeah, you lose a little bit of power when you stay on your bike like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was finding the balance in still hitting them. I have 9 knockouts. I could knock people out, but you got to do it with accumulation, and then usually kicks will add, or knees, and a lot of body work. But the main reason behind the footwork in general as a whole was to never get wrestled, pinned on the fence, or taken down.
Yeah, you did well.
That was the key of it. It was more that than just hit the person. Like, that's obviously what we're there to do. Yeah. But I realized, like, early on that I was going with 155ers because the weight class didn't exist.
Yeah.
That if I didn't stay moving, once they got a hold of me one time and took me down one time, I would be so tired trying to get away from a 155er that I wouldn't have energy for the rest of the fight. Yeah. So I was like, I just can't be taken down. Like, it's not even an option to even be grabbed.
Yeah.
And then that translated to 135, obviously. Then the same idea, but it worked better. My power had held over better at 135.
Then you go to watch, bro, because like honestly, people couldn't touch you. If you saw like a silhouette of you, Dominick Cruz, like, yeah, we know who that is. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I know.
We know who that is. You know what I mean?
They do a thing like that. They do a show where they take silhouettes of fighters, and they have you decide if you could choose. It's funny.
Yours is the easy one. I'll tell you that. But man, it's honestly special because I think there's only you're like one of one when it comes to that. Ain't no way I could ever like duplicate your stuff. Obviously, I got to do my own thing, but
yeah, you do.
Yeah, and like I said, I've had to adjust, but understanding your footwork, a lot of stuff. Honestly, it's your mindset. Honestly, you introduced Emmanuel Gussis to me. Yeah. You met the drunken master. You really would break down like Willie Pep, Muhammad Ali. I would listen to all your podcasts. Or not podcasts, but all your highlights and your interviews, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of full circle for me to come on here. So thank you for having me.
Super cool to have you, man. Yeah. And yes, to answer your question you asked me early on, do I like this? Yes, I enjoy doing this because I like to also give, fighters that have done the same exact thing I've done a platform to explain their style, explain who they watch, why they do what they do. Yeah. And then also, I feel like when we fight, you only really see like a very short piece of us, which is the guy that's going in there to kill or be killed. Yeah. And that's not really who we are. Like 10% of us is that guy, right? The other 90% of our life, who is that guy? Yeah. And, this is an opportunity for you to show your fans and show the people who you are, how you think, what you go through before fights, after fights, what you question in your life, because I feel like people are curious. You're one of the, there's a small percentage of the world who gets to do this on this level of a platform. You were at the White House recently. Like, not a lot of fighters or people in general are going to get that level. So for you to share what makes you tick, I think can give a lot to a lot of people, right? Yeah, man, it's kind of cool. Like, 'cause you have to, like, for me, this has never been my main thing. This interview itself is honestly, like I said, it's a full circle moment for me. Being able to talk to somebody who I've seen from almost the beginning of my career and the adjustments and the accomplishments that you've achieved. I like having this conversation with you, but I know it's for the fans too, because the fans want to know too. Because I'm a fan as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, me too. But it's kind of a special thing. I guess that's what's cool about content creating. I'm trying to get behind a little bit better, because honestly, I'm not that bad. I'm not that great at it. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. You just are what you are. Yeah. Just be yourself, and people like you where you're at. I guess. I hope so. Why not? I hope so. No, I don't know, man. I just like you put your heart and soul into something, and you would hope people would love it, and people will turn a blind eye and stuff. And it's something that's like, I think you kind of have to like figure out first who you are, why you doing what you're doing, and then hope that someone else is getting behind you in the midst of all of it, and it's kind of tough because I feel like, I mean, in my personal career, I go on these long streaks and these knockout, streaks or whatever the case is. How long was your last streak? 7 fights. Seven fight streak until this last one. Until this last one. And then before that, I had a 5-fight knockout streak. Yeah. Calvin Cater. Yeah, I dropped him. I just couldn't put him away. He's a tough dude. Oh, man, he's so tough. Yeah. But I mean, that's 12 straight fights with a lot of knockouts mixed in. That's quite a snowball to roll off of. Right. What did you learn through all that? And then hitting that stop, right? Yeah. I know how that feels. I've had the same thing, obviously. So For you, what do you learn from that at the other end of it?
I think the start of it, everything was kind of like the first loss. Obviously, they say you learn the most from the losses. The first loss, I'll take every loss right on the chin, exactly kind of where it was placed. The first loss, though, like I went in, I was fighting at 155. I was having a lot of like gut issues. I wasn't making weight, I didn't know why. And I ended up having like a bacterial growth like in my gut. And then my liver was shot from all the bad weight cuts that I was going through. And so
this is before this last fight you're saying?
This was before the Singapore fight. So I was just kind of going back to like the start of like
okay, this is the beginning of the streak, basically.
Yeah. And so I had to get on like liver medication. I had to clear up like the fungus going on in my gut. And so in the midst, I was like, this is how I provide for my family too. You know what I mean? So I was going up to 55. The first fight that I fought was Pena. I lost that fight, but it was on a 4-day notice, whatever. Then the second one was in Singapore, and that one kind of like, that was the one that kind of shook me. It was like, kind of like, what kind of man are you? You know what I mean? I went out there, like I said, I lost. I felt like I was better than him, but at the end of the day, I mean, he was going in that cage at 100 and I think they told me it was like 189 pounds. I was like 162 pounds. I was in the wrong weight class.
Just weren't cutting.
Wasn't cutting. I got shit going on. You know what I mean? He clipped me, and then I had a fracture in my collarbone going into that, and it was during COVID. My wife just lost her job. She didn't get the jab. A lot of shit was going on. You know what I mean? And I think this is kind of where like, what kind of man are you? She hit the fan. You just lost. You traveled across the world. You have no money coming in. Honestly, I think I can say it now. I made $7,000 off of the Singapore fight. And I was like, well, how the hell am I supposed to?
After all the work, people don't know like how often you're training. It's like workload versus money doesn't really add up. And then this is why I say it's so hard to mix love and war together, is because you have a family to uphold. That's a lot more pressure. You want your wife to look up to you. You want your kids to look up to you. And more than anything, you want to look up to yourself, it sounds like. And after a loss, we all know it's really hard to find that inside, to scrape that up. And then so it makes you question yourself at that moment, it sounds like.
That, and then on top of that, I was experiencing like things that I wasn't used to yet. I got like a lot of death threats because people were losing money because I was supposed to be the favorite in that fight or whatever.
You got used to the gambling people.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
That was a new one.
Don't get me wrong, like, some of them are diehards, love y'all, but the ones that come after, like me, my wife, my kids, wishing that I go hang myself, and it was just a new deal.
On the comments, you mean?
Yeah, well, those in like private messages and stuff. And
DMs and messages.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I've never experienced that. Like, I've heard of people like, oh, you suck, blah, blah, blah.
It's new. You know what I mean? It's new for you.
That was new for me. That's why I said, like, it really like tested, like, what kind of man are you, Steve? You know what I mean? You're gonna be the man that got up and pick up the shattered pieces on the floor. You get up on the horse, do it again, learn from that. And that's the route I decided. But man, I was like, you're kind of like on these crossroads. You're like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on here? So
this is the beginning of the streak, right? Mm-hmm. Before you start. So you had it. What was your record at this point when you had this learning?
11-3, 11-4.
Okay, so you lose like 2 in a row or something?
So I lost to Pena, and then I beat Charlie Ontiveros. I knocked him out, and then I fought Machete, and I went to Singapore to fight him.
Yes.
That was another experience too. Like, I've never went across the world, 28 hours, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's a...
Dude, the flights.
To fight especially, plus the cut.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is cutting after you get to the other side of the world.
It was rough. And then, the flight back, bro.
No sleep.
Like, it's even worse, dog. Yeah. Like, you hate yourself already, you know what I mean? Like,
after a loss, I know. Then they put you next to the bathroom, and you're just like in the back of the plane. Like,
you feel like everybody on that plane saw you lose. You feel like everybody was just like, oh, that's the guy.
Isn't that crazy how we do that to ourselves in our brain? Nobody even really knows. Like, it's wild, but it's our view of ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Dude, and it sucks. But, well, for me, I had to learn, I'm like, all right, the only people that really matter are my family. The people that like actually, and that's kind of where like things kind of turned for me. It was like, it's not about proving people that don't believe in me like wrong. It's more about proving people that believe in me right. And I had to kind of change my mindset on that. I was like, all right, who believes in me? Because I saw there's a lot of people that like disappeared
after this loss.
Not after this loss, but after that first loss.
Okay.
So that first loss dictated a lot of what changed, I guess, on the outcome. We can talk about the last loss, but
no, we're starting before the streak. and what you learned. But then I was saying, what do you learn now after a streak? Like after a streak like this and then it ends, because I learned a lot through my streak and then it ended.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, let's show what created some of the streak. How about that? Sure. Let's take a look at some of these fights.
Yeah, why not?
In the middle of the streak, southpaw, your left hand is nice. You're pulling him back a little bit on this one.
I think you commentated on this one.
Probably
I think you did. I remember you saying that left hand kept landing.
Yeah, he kept eating it.
Yeah.
And look at you stuffing the takedown. You know you got to stuff the takedown.
Have to.
Yeah, because a nice knee. But you have to stuff the takedown because this dude is extremely dangerous on the ground. He really is.
I know, man. He's a little ankle biter.
Oh, see, you get into the brawls and then it works for you in this fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, that works for you a lot. Like you said, you like to sit down on your punches.
Yeah.
And you like to mix it up in the pocket. And that was the thing is like, I know if I mix it up in the pocket, I give them a shot. But look how hard you hit now because of this. Your feet are planted, bro.
They're in there.
They're stuck. Sure. You're not moving.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's part of the game plan, right? Like, forget making him comfortable by going into his guard. You just keep it standing, keep the space, keep the distance. You know you're touching him up from there, right?
Yeah.
And then you're holding the center, and then you're just doing the work.
At this point, like I was about to lose my job. This was my last fight that I was, it was make or to break it. And my manager told me, he's like, you got a mulligan. He says, you don't got an easy fight, but he says, I got you one more fight. And I was like, all right, cool. Who's it with? And it was Chase Hooper. And I was like, all right.
And this is the beginning of the streak.
That's
so, and what did this do for you after this knockout, after that much pressure? Explain to people like what that's like to say, all right, to the amount of pressure that you got to face on this platform, that in itself is a gift, right?
Yeah.
The pressure is a privilege. It's not a cliche thing.
Yeah.
Because who's going to feel that level of pressure and get to show themselves on that, right?
I felt like the gift was self-belief.
Mm-hmm.
That was the gift.
That started it.
It was like you in or you out. Like my whole goal was to get to the UFC. Then what? What happens when you get to the UFC?
Why was that the end of the goal, right?
Yeah. I was like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, well, I don't feel like a UFC fight until I win. Mm-hmm. So then I won. I'm like, okay, well, then what's next? And I was like, all right, we need to set some higher goals, short term, long term always being the belt. I was like, let's, we got to get on a winning streak. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that started the streak, and then we get another fight. Let's look up let's watch that Cater fight, because that one went the distance. But man, what number in the streak was that?
That was, I think,
like
my six.
So you beat Chase Hooper, and then you went on to win 5 more.
Yeah, I fought Hooper, Norton Beck in Miami, and then I fought Mikizu Costa, and then I fought Choi, Nelson, Cater, and Onama.
Think about that. That's crazy. Some people never even make it through one contract in their UFC.
I think it's career, 16 months. 16 months is the turnaround, I think, for each fighter.
So winning 16 months in a row, you're saying?
No.
Or how long is this streak land now? Like 2 years?
Yeah, this was 4 years. I haven't lost in 4 years.
Wow.
This is kind of what kind of shook me. Just kind of like the agonies of what's going on right now that I'm facing right now.
Exactly.
I hadn't lost in 4 years, and this was probably, I think, the first fight that really I had fans really compliment me, which was crazy because I'm like, you can't please them either way. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go crazy, have some wild fights and stuff, and like, oh well, he's just reckless. I'm like, I thought that's what you want to see. I thought you wanted to see, violence. I thought you wanted to see these things. Yeah, but we also want to see technical aspects. Okay, cool. So I went out here and I felt like I did that, and they kind of saw a little bit of it, but then I felt like they're like, well, you couldn't put him away. I'm like, I can't please none of y'all. I was like, this is crazy.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. And with back to school season coming in, these are a great tool for you. Not just kids, but also parents if you want to drown out the kids screaming in the back. You got meetings, put these babies in, it'll drown out the noise. You can safely put them away where the kids aren't going to swallow them. If you happen to be in school and you want to drown out the annoying teacher, Raycon will help you with that. Very good for noise cancellation, very good for how they fit, they're comfortable, and they're handy. It's something different. Try them out. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic is packed with upgrades. They've got active noise cancellation, as I mentioned, multi-point connectivity so you can pair with 2 devices at once, and a super comfortable ergonomic design that stays put no matter what you're doing. The new colors are awesome. Personally, I get the black ones. Simple. They match everything if I want to match. And it's just easy. You know whose they are because a lot of the other ones don't have black. They're different colors. So I choose that one. They're easy to find. But here's the kicker. Raycon delivers the same premium auto quality as the big brands, but at half the price. Add in over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee. And there's zero reason to overpay. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the perfect back-to-school companion. Go to buyraycon.com/cruise to get 20% off. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring. All right, guys, sex is back on the table or the counter or the bed or wherever you do it. I'm not here to judge. Thanks to Blue Chew Gold, the new arousal boosting formula from the #1 better sex brand, Blue Chew is making bedrooms noisy again. And it doesn't just get you hard. It gets you aroused, horny, turned on, which is crazy because if you're older and you got a hard on and you're not horny, that's a problem. Got performance anxiety? Not with this. Blue Chew Gold quiets the noise so you can handle business. Don't forget about the mornings too, because you ever tried to pee with a hard on? It's a nightmare. Knock, knock, who's there? Knock, 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 knock. That's the sound of your bedpost when you use Blue Chew. You know, sometimes I get called a dick because, you know, my word usage, whatever you want to call it. But when you take Blue Chew, you get ready to meet your new dick. He's confident, walks into the room with the chin up, makes eye contact. Stuff is crazy. I think mine talks. He's the cock of the walk, if you know what I mean. There's a reason Blue Chew is the #1 brand for better sex. Experience it yourself at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Right now, when you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the third free with promo code DOM. That's promo code DOM, DOM. You will also receive an additional 10% off plus free overnight shipping on your first order. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the pod and my bedroom. I like hearing what you're saying because Michael Jordan said it best, obviously one of the greatest, to me, the greatest basketball
100%,
player of all
100%.
time, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He said that you can never live up to the expectations of other people, so the only expectations that matter are the ones we have for ourselves. Now, it sounds cliche, but you're explaining how important and real that is because you won't, no matter how perfect you are, if you had 100 knockouts in a row, they're going to say, yeah, but that's just the way we are as human beings, all connected to each other.
It's annoying and it's great at the same time.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I get it.
What do you hate about it? Because if it's just your own expectations, what do you need them to love
I hate
you
the fact that like I care about what other people think sometimes.
But that's human.
It is human.
You're not a robot.
Yeah. And I wish I was sometimes. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to shut that part of your brain off.
Well, you don't want to feel.
Yeah, it's easier not to.
It is.
It's easier not to. Like even when you're in a fight, I mean, how many times have you been like in mega pain? You really don't feel pain in a fight. You're like, shit, I got hit with that shot.
Somehow the pain for me made me always remember that I deserved it and I used it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I deserved the pain anyway.
So you kind of felt it in the fights or in training, obviously?
Some things.
Sometimes.
Some things, not really. Like I felt this last fight that I had, I basically herniated 2 discs in my neck on a double leg that I shot, knocked myself out on the takedown attempt.
Oh, damn.
And running into the ground. And I felt that. And that was like one of the first times in the middle of a fight where I felt, oh, like, did I break my neck? The crunch that I just heard was crazy.
Yeah.
You got a stinger, so my arm wasn't working, and I'm kind of like loopy. And I'm wondering, like, how effed up I am, like, at that moment in the fight. And I'm thinking to myself that, like, I'm not thinking I deserve that. I'm just, like, kind of knocked out and just in pain. And, like, how do I turn this arm back on? I couldn't lift it up. Okay. And so I'm trying to wear the poker face until it comes back online. You know what I mean? Because you've had a stinger before.
Yeah, 100%.
It just shuts down for a minute.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but then there's also the shots where you eat them, and it's like, don't be stupid, man. Put your hands up. Like, you deserve that.
Yeah.
Like, you idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dummy, like what's wrong with you?
And then that kind of gets me, all right, get sharp, because he doesn't deserve to do that to you.
Yeah.
Get him back, and then don't let that happen again. I kind of had that in it.
Okay. So your last fight was...
Vera was my last fight. I was supposed to fight Chito Vera. I was supposed to fight Rob Font one more time, and then my shoulder blew out.
That's right. You kind of just like, I'm kind of done.
Well, after my shoulder blew out for the second time, it fell out of socket in that camp.
Yeah.
About 3 weeks before it fell out the second time when I pulled out.
Do you feel like that had to do with like overtraining?
No, I think it has to do with just preparing. Like I had already had a tear before the Cody fight. It was already torn, and I shot it with stem cells to just get more fights out of it. And it lasted. The stem cells made it last, but it goes until the thread breaks, and the thread finally break before that.
So like with you, what would be your definition of overtraining? Because like I see your workhorse, bro.
Yeah.
I've watched all your highlights, your workhorse.
I'll say this. I don't think there's such thing as overtraining. I think there's only such thing as under rehabbing.
Okay.
Not fixing the
like
body recovery, not sleeping enough, not resting enough. I don't think you can train too much. Okay. Just like, you can't love somebody too much. You just have to create boundaries.
Okay.
In the, you know what I mean? It's, I love them too much. Now I'm going to get hurt again. That's not true. You can never love too much. It's more, how do I create boundaries where I need them? And I look at it the same way with training. Like I was using training to escape my mind. I was using training to escape the demons and the pain and whatever I was going through, right?
Yeah.
So where's the rehab in that? Well, the rehab doesn't take away the demons. The rehab is self-love. So it actually makes you think about yourself. Oh man, my legs hurt. Like you have to give emotion and feeling to the numbness that I'm just trying to feel. I just want to be numb.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel it. I don't want to think about it. And when I sit down and you go get a massage and you pay for it, and then you stretch, and then you do hot sauna, cold plunge, hot 3 times, and you do all that, at the end of that, it's like a big meditation. Sure. Meditation is a lot of self-realization.
For me, running,
I didn't want that.
When I run, that's like my meditation.
But you're working.
Yeah.
So now you're breaking your body down again.
True.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. We're always running from something. We're always on the constant hum,
Yeah.
And the rehab is what was missing for me. And I didn't have the Performance Institute when I was going through my career.
Oh, shoot.
I only had, it was early on. I went to a place called Sports Science Lab, which was in Newport or Irvine. Okay. And I would drive from San Diego to Irvine 3 times a week to rehab my knees because there was no Performance Institute. Yeah. And GSP had gone there, and a guy named Gavin really helped me. So I had to be very specific. And then that, through my knee injuries, is where I started to really learn how much I wasn't doing enough self-love rehab. Yeah. Which I was just beating myself down.
Sure.
And it's like taking a car and 4-wheeling it every single day and never getting maintenance. I was doing like one maintenance every now and then,
You had some issues.
Because it costs money.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money really to spend on massages and chiropractor, even though when you spend that on fixing yourself, you make the money back by not getting hurt. So I just didn't have the wisdom of that early on.
I think also part of it is just stubbornness. You're like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll feel right. You know what I mean?
No, it's just hard. It's hard to do the rehab.
Time too.
Because it's like I'd rather just beat myself up. It doesn't feel like the rehab's getting me better.
Yeah.
To me,
and it's a process, right? Like if you get an injury, it doesn't heal the next day. Usually, it takes a couple weeks. And
well, like you said in your early fights, you were going into fights completely broken shoulders, like we all are. But then now you have the Performance Institute and all these tools to get right. Yeah. These dietary tools, you've got dietitians, you got these space blankets to help you cut weight. They've got temperatures for the bath water. I remember we just boiled until you boiled. There was no like, all right, get it to 105 and be perfect.
It's
like
crazy.
Everything is so good now. I got to experience that.
Science behind it.
Everything is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how you learn through the wins and the losses.
Yeah.
What was missing, what wasn't. So where are you at now?
Yeah, man. So, we go through all these wins, and you feel untouchable. You feel like you can't be beat. And the self-belief is higher than ever. I get the call to go to the White House. I didn't put my name in the pot. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm the guy that's unseen. I'm the guy that has to continue. I in my head, after the Onama fight, I was like, I got to probably beat like 5 more people.
You had already had like a 7 fight streak, and you thought you were going to need. What made you think you needed 5 more?
I just felt like I'm not good enough. I felt like I'm always going to be looked past. I'm always the guy. I'm kind of quiet. You know what I mean? I don't rant and rave. I'm the man that like, all right, you want me to beat this guy? I'll go beat this guy. And then the next guy's not safe. And then I still believe that. I believe it more than I probably did prior to that point, I guess.
So okay, here's the question I would ask you. How much does that correlate to your streak in giving you the chip on the shoulder and power you needed to go create it? Yeah. And how much do you think that mindset also created the loss? Like, which do you think it did more for?
I think it clearly benefited me more than it didn't, but there's both.
Yeah.
When I went, like I said, I got the call. They told me it was Diego Lopes. I was through the roof. I was number 8 at the time, fighting number 2. Kind of a cool like moment. In a way, I consider myself like almost like the biggest ball dropper right now, just because I lost that fight. But I went in there very
it can only
confident.
be one, right? He would have had to be the same thing.
And it sucks because like I was winning the fight, Dom.
Yeah.
I was winning the fight.
Oh, it's painful, I know.
And that's why I talk about dropping the ball.
Oh, okay.
That's why I talk about dropping the ball.
I get it.
Technically, I think I'm better than him, but he was better that night. And like I said, I'll eat my L's. You know what? Like he knocked me out. And honestly, if I'm gonna lose to somebody, I'll take the L. I'll take
this
the L.
This is the thing.
Dominic.
I think you were good. It's just you decided to trade with him when you were ahead by fighting the perfect distance fight. And then there's something that happened. You got hit and you got mad.
I lost focus too.
And you just wanted to trade.
Yeah. I lost focus. I didn't stick to the game plan.
What was the game plan?
The game plan was to make sure that like his
fight him like Chase Hooper.
I'm not trying to give away too much because my chapter, I feel like with him isn't done. But I wanted him to move every single time that he wanted to exchange with me. The problem about him is that he would stay right in front of me. Like he didn't really shift. He was he played the counter game pretty well. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna stay on my jab and I'm gonna kind of just like do this thing. And honestly, like, and I'm not trying to like make up excuses, but because we both dealt the same thing. But man, just because we were the guinea pigs, we were the first fight on the card. Just like the whole lead up to it, I'm like, bro, like we were kind of flat. Me and him were, I could tell he was flat and I was flat because it probably took about 45 minutes to finally get going. No, probably even an hour. Because when we first get there, we were, kind of normal, like 2 hours before you arrive there or whatever. And then I'm getting my hands up and like, hey, we're going to start on time because they kept telling me we're probably going to do a delay. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, no, we're going to get going. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we started hot out the gate, felt strong, felt good.
Yeah, the warm-up mattered.
The warm-up felt great. I got a good sweat, felt good. They're like, dude, we got 30 minutes. We got a delay. And I'm like, all right, well, don't get too high, don't get too low. Try to be right there in the middle. And so 30 minutes goes by. And they're like, there's a potential where we might do another delay, but we're not sure. And then all of a sudden, literally within like 5 minutes, they're like, we're going now. And I was like, okay, so me and Wink, we hit pads maybe 2 minutes. Didn't sweat, nothing.
After the 30-minute break.
After the 30-minute break, yeah. And so I'm by the door and like, you need to get back because I'm trying to move. I'm trying to like stay warm. He's walking down the aisle because we were across the street in I think it's like the Eisenhower building. So he's coming down, he's doing his own thing. Finally, like they're like, all right, Steve, you can walk. So I get down. I'm working on this like long hallway. I'm trying to like still stay kind of moving and stuff. We get stuck in like an elevator. There's 10 of us, sardines in a can type of feel. I'm like trying to bounce. I can't bounce in there.
Oh, yeah.
So then come down.
Weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, that's
then we walk all the way
that
back.
doesn't happen anywhere in our careers, ever. There's no preparing for that either. So these are like intangibles.
I need to be better about the unpredictable.
Yeah,
not knowing.
That's what you learned.
That's part of it.
Learned.
I need to be better at that. Because when we walked across the street, I think I came out of the West Wing and I was in there and I'm still moving. I'm still trying to do it. You got these two heroes right next to you.
Yeah,
you walk down the hallway.
Is insane.
Dude, it was epic.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And I'm happy we did a rehearsal.
It looks so sick.
We did a rehearsal, which I'm so happy about because like honestly, I got majority of that shit out the way.
Yeah.
Boom in the way.
Yeah, the nerves. You got to practice the nerves.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I actually got to almost like bypass the nerves to an extent.
Yeah. It looks insane.
Dude, it was incredible. It was mind-blowing, to be honest. But right before that walkout, I was probably in that area for about 20 minutes.
Oh, seeing you can't. Yes. Now you're cold.
Yes.
You're really cold.
And even the guy, he's like, you good? I was like, I almost said, like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like, he's a hero for 9/11. And I'm like, shut up. I'm like, dude, don't touch me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm trying to lock in, bro.
I'm trying to lock out of my way.
But I could tell.
Are you ready?
Exactly. He's like, you good, bro? And I'm like, shut up.
You're making me wonder if I'm good.
I'm trying to stay in because I know I still got to walk out. And we're the first fight. I'm the first guy to ever walk out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know what to expect necessarily, but yeah. And and at that point, like I said, you're already in. I'm in or you out. You know,
First round looked incredible though. You won the first round.
Yeah, I felt good. Game plan was in my head. Diego didn't do what I expected Diego to do, and that's where I lost a little bit of focus. He would go straight back in, straight back out, and then there's times where he would even go laterally, side to side, nothing. It was just straight in, straight out, which is honestly going to play into my game. And then the second round comes. I'm like, nah, dude. Nah, I was like, I can get him. And then we get stuck in this freaking brawl here. Instead of angling off.
Yeah, because against Chase Hooper, you keep the distance.
Yeah.
You don't trade like that.
No. And I pull straight back out and I come right back in the center line.
Yeah, this is where you start trading, but it's because you got hit, right?
Yep. And I always go down fighting, but honestly, what I should have done is I should have clinched or I should have freaking, I should have tried to dive for a leg or something like that. But as soon as I went down, I was like, I'm good. Like that was my last thought process before obviously the fight ended. I was like, I'm good. And honestly, what I needed to do is because he's a sucker for someone taking the back, I should have just honestly went to all fours. Because I honestly think he would have just tried to sink in his hooks.
It gave you time to recover.
Yeah. And honestly, like
what happened with Gaethje and Taburia type of thing, right?
Very similar to that.
Yeah, like you got to get your cobwebs out. You might have to lose the position for a minute. Just stay alive.
Yeah. Dude, my Albuquerque showed there. So I was like, don't be dumb. You know, freaking, you don't need
trading.
But
also when we get hit, there's an innate thing where it's kill or be killed, survive.
Yeah.
It's like cat in a corner. Yeah. It's like you kind of just, it's human.
Yeah.
Again, this is what's crazy about it, right? Like it's human. And again, that's part of the reason why I always focused on my movement is because when I got clipped, I wanted to be able to stay alive if I got clipped too, because we're going to get hit.
You did good with it, bro. Like your movement. And honestly, I think with your movement that did pretty well was that like, even if you did get hit, it was glancing. It was nothing that was
that was the idea. So it's like I lost power.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, and I gained defense. So it's like,
And that's where I kind of struggle there is that like, especially in the second round, defensively, I wasn't like tactically sound. If I would have been a little bit better on defense.
Maybe?
No.
What do you think pulled you into not being as defensive? Because your first round, you didn't barely get hit. You were tagging him. He was taking a lot of damage. He took it well, by the way. He's almost better the more you hit him.
Dude, well, his chin should be probably studied because... Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, like, and I didn't give him my best shit. You know what I mean? I was waiting to the third round because you see him like in the Ige fight, you see him even in the Gene Silva fight. He'll kind of start to break down a little bit. And I was like, dude, I'm from Albuquerque, bro. Like we train at elevation. I know I can bust. I can literally just like break him with cardio. And so at the end of first, I'm like, all right, I'm almost gonna try to like put some more pressure on him, a little bit some more pressure. I wanted to be like high volume. And I was a little bit hesitant about how much I was putting out there, but still, like I was able to still go out there and do what I needed to do. And then by the second round, I was like, all right, so now we're getting to this fight. This is kind of what I was expecting, but what the difference is that I didn't do this in this particular moment was my feet. I didn't move my feet.
Well, you're knocked. You're kind of knocked on your feet, bro.
Exactly. Like I need to be circling, and that's where I messed up here. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the small things that I learned. One, I did put him on a pedestal. I was like, oh my God, this is like the almighty Diego Lopes who can't be defeated and blah, blah, blah.
He's nice though.
He's a good dude.
Not that he can't be beaten, but he's good. So there's not necessarily, I used to do the same thing as what I'm saying. We all do that. We all put the guy we're fighting, make him bigger, like they're like some big thing. You can't help it because our body's trying to keep us safe.
Sure. I guess that makes sense.
It's very human.
But I'll tell you what, that's in my head, I was like, all right, if I fight someone like Volk, would I have done that? Would I have put him on a pedestal? Because I did that to him. So I'm like, all right, you're done putting people on pedestals. They're good, but they're not unbeatable. They bleed just like you bleed. And I'm like, all right, cool. So like now I know that for a fact. I don't care what level you are, like you're at. If you're the champion, if you're almost the champion, I don't really care who you are anymore. Like you're gonna get hit by me no matter what. If you're unranked or ranked, champion, not champion, I don't care how it is. Like, excuse my language, but you guys are all fucked.
Yeah.
You're all going to get it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right
now. It pissed you off to the point where you're ready to make the adjustment. Like, you're tired of looking at it that way.
It infuriates me that I know I can see round one. I even talked to Hunter. He's like, dude, you're pretty much outstriking him the first round. You looked hella good. I was like, I was winning until I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was winning until I wasn't.
Yeah, it's how.
But I'm this close. If that's I just did that to number 2 with a round and a half. Let me figure some shit out. Let me figure some.
Well, they're going to give you a shot. They're going to bring you back. You had the streak. You came. You did this White House card. Whatever. Yeah. So one of the things I heard you say too is that you thought you were going to need 5 more fights before you even got a fight like this. How do you feel about yourself now after a loss? Like, do you need another 5-fight streak?
I like to kind of pick someone's brain. My management, Dana, and all them, but I wouldn't always get that luxury.
Well, then we go. Okay, so you don't know. That's fair.
Yeah.
Josh Hokit. And then the other thing I heard you say is, I'm kind of quiet. I don't say much. I don't really, do that. I just show up and I'll fight anybody. But it's almost like that's, and then you talk about Josh Hokit. People talk about Josh Hokit and how he's 4 fights. He's fighting for a title.
Yeah.
What can you learn? It's not that you got to be faking it. I'm not telling you to be him, but it's like, he's your teammate, right?
Yeah.
So he's not like that in real life.
No, he's not.
He's chill. And then he goes and shows up that way. And this is what I try to tell people. I did a post about it recently. It's once you have an opinion about somebody, you give them your power.
Okay.
So with Hokit, all these people that are so mad at him, I can't believe he said that. You're giving him a platform. That person that says you're giving him a platform is giving him a platform.
Right.
By having an opinion.
Because it's his name's in your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the more you hate him, that's what he's beating these people on. He's taking their power and holding it in his hands and going, ha, 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 neener, neener, neener. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody's like, you're bad, you're racist, you're this, you're that. And then he goes, yeah, keep adding me to the top of the algorithm with your hate.
Yeah.
Their hate is fueling his platform. And it's crazy to watch because the people who hate him are the ones that are moving him up the fastest. Right. When if they just let him be human and ignored him, never said one word, never commented, never had an opinion about it, he wouldn't rise. So they're literally fueling his rise with their hate, and they don't see it, the people that hate him. That's wild to think about, isn't it?
It is. And he's doing it right. He's doing it right because I guess, when I talked to him, he's like, dude, all I think about all day is how I can be the headline of everybody's clicks. And that's what he told me.
I mean, Mayweather used to do that too. He made everybody hate him.
Yeah.
That's almost how he talked, right? Yeah. A lot of people did that, but can you embrace the hate is the question. Everybody wants to be loved innately.
Yeah.
So can you just put that to the side and say, go ahead, hate me?
I'd love to, Dom, but this is where I think my mindset's different than, especially from Josh. One, I got a 6-year-old son at my house. I have a family, and my wife and everybody, they know who I am. And if I were to change, I think they would look at me differently. Even if they knew that it was for show, it was for money. Money's not everything to my family. You know what I mean? To me, it's something that I didn't have, and it's a way to obtain more money. But is it also how the route that you're willing to go to lose yourself? And I've said this before, my son mimics everything I do. Everything I do. Now that I take pictures, so me and my wife have this agreement because I always want to respect her too. But if I have, fans that are girls that want to take pictures, I don't wrap my hands around them, nothing like that. I always do the number 1 sign. And I do that with everybody. And I've heard other stories even from Rampage and stuff like that, why they don't do it. And I'm like, okay, this whole thing makes sense, right? So I do it in all my pictures. I do a number 1 sign for everybody. Now my son, that's all he does. In all his pictures, he does the number 1 sign. It's hilarious because I'm he just wants to be like me. Mm-hmm. So if I go and act like Josh, love Josh. Josh, love you, dude. But still,
Does he have kids?
He doesn't.
So you think that maybe that's where it can come from for him?
Probably. Well, I can't act like a fool and tell my son not to do it either.
Yeah, it sounds like you're just talking about integrity of your own beliefs and principles.
Yes.
And everybody has their own beliefs and principles, and nobody's wrong for exercising theirs the way they want to. So Josh isn't wrong for exercising his.
It's not.
It's just different.
Yeah. But my route is going to be way harder than Josh's route. Josh can talk your ear off, piss you off, and he can get expedited to the top. This is what he did.
And everybody has that choice to make.
Exactly. And I chose the other route. Yeah. I chose the integrity. I chose almost you know, and a lot of times, like people kind of lose the idea that mixed martial arts is like an honorable type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's what he says though. He says, I think he calls that like, I think you guys are lazy.
yeah.
You saw that quote?
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily wrong to an extent. To see from his view, I get it, because when you go the route he's gone, dude, that's Colby Covington's route too. It's
you're
anger.
by that sword
yeah,
too.
you are.
You have to.
Like, yeah, and it's a lot of
me.
pressure. It's a lot more pressure, and that's what he means by it's lazy, because you do add pressure.
Yeah.
He's added pressure to his life by talking this way. So that's the downside of it. He gets moved to the top of the algorithm with the hate.
Yeah.
And people's opinion of him
Yep.
is what's moving him to the top,
Yep.
because he takes everybody's power who's talking about him.
Well, what I love about it is he can back it up.
Yeah, well, right now,
what would change
happens
is
when
if
you don't?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
But
that's the question, and everybody said that's why he says you're being lazy. You don't want to face that. Yeah. That's Josh Hokit's mindset, and I kind of respect that. He's like, okay, I'm going to take. To him, he's choosing the harder route than you are.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, he's choosing the more what do you call it? Almost like
well, is it easier to
hateful route, but it's almost like the more tension route.
Is it easier to have the love or the hate?
That's a question. That's something to ask him. You know what I mean?
that is the question that we're all in. And to him, he would say it's harder to take the hate, and you're being lazy if you aren't ready for it.
I see.
I get that. That's his perspective. And I'm with you in the sense of I try to find the balance of the principles, the integrity, but also that. Also because we are fighting. At the end of the day, we are fighting.
When you and TJ, you guys are going on, you're like, dude, you're gonna interview dummy. Like you were just getting underneath his skin. And on the way, that's the way to do it. That's how I would do it. Facts would speak heavier.
I had to find a way too to kind of be the heel.
Yeah.
And there is a way, but now that I'm in this world, people get to know who I really am.
Yeah.
But in that,
for sure,
I only showed the pieces of me that were built to kill somebody else, or I'm going to be killed. So at that point, I'm very war driven. I'm not going to be nice to you. I'm not going to show the nice sides of myself, because all's fair in love and war.
Right.
And I know that they're going to use it against me. So I don't like to put my personal relationships on social media. I don't like to put my personal relationships anywhere for anybody to see, because the second I lose, the second I win, who's the first people they're going to go after? My family and my kids, or I don't have kids, but my family, or my nephew, or my brother, or my mom.
Is that why you didn't have kids?
No, I haven't had kids yet. I mean, it's something that I would definitely
eventually
love to do. Yeah,
okay.
But you have to. I believe kids should come through you, not for you. So you got to have the relationship first. I don't want to just have kids because I need kids. It's like I need to have my shit together. The kids won't come for me.
Yeah,
to come through me.
You're just an unusual Mexican, my friend, because like
I'm half. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the half.
Everybody in my family, man, they're just having kids just because it's Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to get the quinceañeras, which get things boiled up.
And then
you know what I'm saying?
She has some tequila, and it's not good. I was just curious because you seem like a guy that almost is calculated in all your moves. From what I've seen.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I had an upbringing with a dad who didn't really show up, and I saw what that did to my mental capacity and the way that I look for relationships and the way that I've chosen people. While also I chose people from a place of, I'm in career of fighting.
Yeah.
So I was choosing people in my life that weren't the healthiest, because I didn't have the healthiest, in my experience of it, I didn't have the healthiest mindset myself.
Sure.
So I have to work on that myself, and then the things will show up. When the environment can cater to the people that you want, then they will come. But I've created everything. I'm the common denominator between me and all the failures in my relationship.
I see. You're like, I'm the cause and reason of it.
Yeah, no, I am. At the end of the day,
being a fighter, it's different though. People say that they can handle it until they go through it.
It's very heavy, and it's very heavy weight, and then the feeling of being embarrassed in front of people weighs heavy. And it's like, man, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if you understand how much I'm obsessed with winning this fight. It became very obsessive for me. And I always knew that I would put, not on purpose, but I might put my family behind that. And so I kind of didn't want to do that to them.
To speak on like those terms, like I tell my wife this, my wife's honestly like, I probably wouldn't even be in the UFC if it wasn't for her. So like,
yeah, you went the other way, and it's fueled you.
It has fueled me,
and I love to hear this side, because this is what the whole thing's about. Every fighter does it different.
Yeah,
nobody has a right answer for it. Right. but you made it work with a relationship at the same time, and it made you more powerful.
It did. It gave me more to fight for. That's, I mean, to sum it up. But like with her, she understood like where I was and a lot of these times and places, because I'm grumpy in camp, bro. I'm sure most of us are, but like I would tell her, and she would just want to know like what I'm thinking. She would just check on me, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Sometimes that would even bug me. I'm like, why you just stop? You know what I mean? Just like, you know, not being the best husband.
Sounds like the guy at the White House.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, it's just like it's always something, man. And then like I thought about it, and I was like, babe, like I don't mean to like make you feel a certain way. I was like, but I think about my opponents more than I think about you. But
just the fact that she can hear that is, that's a different level of relationship.
It opened her mind. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, babe, you're not trying to kill me. I was like, I know that you're always gonna be right here next to me. You're always gonna be there for me, even when I win and when I lose. I was like, but this man right here is trying to take everything away from you, and everything that I'm trying to give you, and trying to like help our family situation. I mean, I didn't come from a line of money. You know what I mean? If you followed the UFC, you know, Connected and all that stuff like that, a lot of you know that like my family comes from a line of like cotton pickers and beet farmers and stuff like that. Like we worked hard coming up. You know, I was gonna join the military early on, but fighting kind of just like took over for me. And I was a janitor. I unloaded trucks at Target, and I did like landscaping, like in the middle of the day, where I would, you know, fix, you know, drip systems and dig ditches and stuff like that while I train twice a day. You know what I mean?
That's why we get along. That's why I did the exact same thing.
Man, it sucks because like people, like, especially nowadays, bro, these kids.
I didn't pick beats, sorry, but
I didn't pick beats either. This is just this is from the lines there.
No, but I know what you mean. It's the job while you work, and the 3 jobs while you're still trying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it was just like that to me. It was like, I'm like, bro, like I dedicated my whole life to this. This is where like I think our next conversation will kind of like lead into about like retirement and when you call it all, you know, when you're all done, right? But everything that I've worked hard for, everything that I've sacrificed, that person is trying to take it away. And I think my wife kind of just like, she didn't know how to handle it, but she's like, whatever it is, Steve, I trust you, and I'm going to let you just do what you got to do, and I'm going to be right here. And I was like, all right, my lady's a real one, ride or die. It doesn't matter. So, you know, I always want to give her the credit, and then she knows what she signed up for. Mm-hmm. My kids don't. You know, so like even after this last loss, you know, people were messaging her like, "Hey, your husband got slimed." You know, your husband got kirked. You know, all stuff like that.
That's why. Okay, so real quick, again, that's why I do have a thing with not wanting to get people involved. Think of every superhero movie on Earth that we've watched. Why do they wear a mask?
Yeah. So they don't get their identity, and they protect the loved ones. Yep.
So instead of I didn't get to wear a mask. So to me, it's like I need to protect my loved ones and the people that I care most about by not having them. They don't know what they think they want to be exposed until you get exposed, right? You just said like you didn't know what it was going to feel like to have that much hate at one point in your career. And now they're feeling it too,
and
right?
They don't know how to handle it. Because
so what do you do when your family has to feel that? What do you do with that? How do they handle it now that you're watching them and they went through it and they have handled it and they are receiving those messages? What's that like?
Well, with my kids, I limit their access. I mean, I have a special needs daughter, so like I don't really have to worry about her. But my son, you know, I just kind of just keep it like low pro for him. My wife, you know, I think she's on private. You know what I mean? So people want to access her. It's kind of harder. Everything I want it to be like if you hate me, come at me.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Yeah, come to me.
They know you can handle it. That's why they go after our loved ones.
Right,
and that's how we hurt you.
So I feel like my wife does a pretty good job of it, and I tell them, babe, I was like, don't read them. You know, just kind of like Joe Rogan, don't read the comments and stuff like that. They always want to come to your defense.
It takes practice to even do that.
Practice it. Yeah, and you have to
not want to read it, right?
You have to go through it. And sometimes I don't mind it.
Think about Joe, the number 1 listened to voice in the world. Think of the hate that dude's getting and how he handles that too. Yeah. It's
he
like
doesn't read the comments. He's smart.
You can't.
Yeah.
Once you read it, it's in there and it bounces around like a pinball and you can't get rid of it. Even if it's like a egg.
Yeah.
You know, it could be some
stupid.
It usually is. If they're not posting their profile, who are they? But why does
usually there's no picture.
Yeah.
There's no picture. And then literally you'll have
one
like
follower.
Yeah,
they
it's one
follow
follower.
1,000.
Yeah. But man, dude, they made pages. They're like, I hate Steve Garcia Instagram pages. I have those. And then I have, there was one other thing that was kind of weird. I'm like, people have this much time to create a profile and literally comment on all my shit about how much they hate me. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I was like, they have no life. No life. And I'm like, all right, what are the crowds that we're catering to? You know what I mean? And it's kind of hard because I'm like, maybe go make some money. Maybe don't like stop hating on people that are actually trying to like better their lives.
So I'll get pulled into this and then I'll go, oh, they have my attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now they got what they wanted. So they're pulling the Josh Hokit on us.
Yeah. They do.
Isn't that?
They do.
And we give away power to people that shouldn't get it.
Right.
Why? Think about this. It's like, how many good comments are there?
Hundreds.
And we don't hear them.
And the one that sticks out is the one that...
Yeah. So it's just a thought. Then that makes me think, okay, is this actually how I feel about myself? And that's why I'm listening to the downside instead of the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so how do we focus more on the good than the negative? How do we focus more on the gratitude than the survival?
Sure.
It's a constant balance, especially in fighting. I feel like it's more bright. It's like just more in my face when I was competing, like which one I chose and why I chose to listen to what I chose to listen to.
I think when you get back to like the reality of things, gratitude is huge. Gratitude is huge because at the end of the day, you're accomplishing goals. Like you peel back all the other stuff. Like we're not worried about all this stuff. Like I feel like even my career, like as much as I feel like I have so much more to still do, regardless of like if I'm getting the cheers and the applauses and all that stuff like that, I get to go and do what I chose to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm blessed. Like God's like I mean I'm a God-fearing man. Like I have my faith and I'm just like, man, everything that I prayed for, I have it.
Yeah.
I have it. So why Steve, like, why are you worrying about all this stuff? Like, be thankful.
So for people out there, why do you think we still worry about the other stuff?
Because we live in this world that is not all sunshines and rainbows. It's not, and there's bad people in the world.
But why can't we focus more on the gratitude than the things we're missing when we have more to give away than anything we've ever lost?
Because it's easy. I feel like it's easier to pull people down. I think
But why do you focus on the people pulling you down rather than the gratitude of the people pulling you up?
You know what, man? I feel like in times it's easier and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what I'm saying. For people at home, why do you think it's hard to not focus on the people pulling us up? Why would we ignore the people that are pulling us up and pay attention to the ones that are pulling us down? What is that in us? That's the question I stay in. And for myself, I know that it comes down to that's how I feel about myself so I'm going with them. So how do I uplift the self-love? It's make decisions that I admire every day. That's the only way to love yourself.
It's almost like I felt that before.
Well,
yeah, that one comment that person said.
You've thought about it already.
Yes, you're like, that was me, or that was a thought I did feel about myself.
But we don't always just tout our own.
Right.
We're not like, I'm the best. I hit so hard. I did it. You don't say all that stuff. So it's easy to kind of like.
Well, that goes back to like almost like where I struggled, I think, for like, especially early in my career, like, why is it so hard to believe in yourself?
Yep.
Why is it that like we always have doubts in our mind sometimes that like I mean, how many times do we go into practice and we feel like a champ already, and then the next week we're like, bro, like an amateur off the street could mess us up.
Well, let's put it this way: you had a 5-fight knockout streak and a 7-fight win streak.
Yeah.
And then you went into that fight wondering still, if you were enough.
Why?
That's the question to be in, right? What does that come from? And then why can I not tap into the gratitude rather than what I'm missing?
Right.
And how do I find the balance in the two?
Well, I think that's why I'm here, Dominic. So if you got some answers, bro, I'm here for it.
Well, this is the thing. These are questions to be in. The answer is the end. So no miracles can come from the answer. You already know the answer. Yeah. The question is, how do I stay in the question of these things to learn and to be able to find the miracle in the learnings?
Okay. Well,
right?
since
you're
you were
the questions of it, bro.
Yeah. Since you're a champion, one, how did you deal with all of the noise? That's number one. And number two, what is the difference between being a champion and not being a champion? Besides not having a belt.
Good questions. The difference of being a champion and not being a champion, I'll start with that one, is I can give myself a pat on the back for accomplishing the thing that I set to accomplish. So that's the gratification,
Okay.
and I can give myself like some self-love for that. So that's nice. But when you get it, it doesn't, I'll be honest, like when I won the title from TJ for the second time, it almost felt like it didn't add up to what I had done to get it.
I see.
And then I had the realization, like, holy cow, this isn't actually everything I thought it was going to be champion. It's actually, I'm the same guy.
Yeah.
And they already have 5 people that are going to beat me that they're talking about in media right now. They're not talking about my win. They're talking about the next
Who's
guy
next?
that's going to beat me.
Okay.
And so when you realize all that, you realize like, man, all I can do is be grateful for everything that I have. Now, thank God I got this championship, because now I'll get the sponsors, I'll get them some money opportunities, I'll get, but it doesn't solve the things you think it's going to solve. That's the biggest thing I learned.
Okay.
And the first question that you asked me is, how do I deal with the pressure?
The noise,
the noise of all of it. Like right now, especially after a loss or before, excuse me, I look at it as a gift of, in order to have one, you can't have the other. So this is always something I focused on, especially I lost my last fight and I wanted to get on a win streak again, but I had to really accept the loss with the win, because if you can't have a win without the loss, then that makes them the same.
Okay.
They're dualities, right? So why am I putting so much on the win and giving nothing, no learning lesson to the loss? Like there's a reason I had to look at my losses, because I didn't start losing till the end and start saying they needed the win. Maybe God believed they needed the win more than I did for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know what they're going through in their lives either.
Right.
Like I had to really put myself aside and say, why am I giving so much to the win and giving when I can't have one without the other? I wouldn't want to fight if I knew I was going to win every time. It would bore me.
Yes, that's
So I have to have this feeling, and that's why I came up with the idea of like, you can't grow without loss. It's not like it's a real thing, because you can't have one without the other. So that makes them one and the same. So what am I supposed to be learning from this so that I don't waste it? And it's like that night I went out because of this notion. I made a point that I need to celebrate myself for even getting here, even though I lost. And I need to give as much to the loss as I do the win, because if I only give kudos to the win, then I'm not being real with myself. Like you cannot have one without the other. That makes them equal.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to contemplate, but that's where I could start being in the question of it instead of the answer is you're a loser. That's the end.
You feel like one, especially when
I still feel like one. I didn't get my set off, and I'm still learning to forgive myself for my losses. It's not like a thing that goes away.
Yeah.
It's a constant practice of learning to forgive myself. But let's be honest, who in this world has gone through something that they need every day of their life to forgive themselves for? I guarantee you everybody in the world has that.
Yeah.
Ours is just being watched on a stage because we're being vulnerable enough to share that to the people. And so you put yourself in this position on the highest platform ever to put yourself in a vulnerable position. And transformation is a public event. And through this process, you're transforming.
Yeah.
It's
in front of the public eye, and I think that's where like the noise, you got to learn how to handle the noise, because
it's a gift to handle the pressure.
It is,
and you're in it, and you're in the transformation process, and you're in the questions, and I can hear it.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you, that's where the miracles can be made. That's where you come back and you can create what you want to create.
Yeah.
From scratch. It's all. Nobody's calling you a loser except yourself. I don't see it that way.
Yeah,
at all. And I guarantee you, if I had a list, Albert Einstein said the most important question a man could ask himself is the universe friendly or not? And I truly believe it's more friendly than not.
Okay.
And as long as I come from that, I can know it's always going to hit back to where it needs to eventually. Maybe not now. Maybe this is a path that I'm supposed to be learning a lot. This is a season. Whatever I'm supposed to be getting, be in the question, be with it. Every fight doesn't go unhit, unscathed. Sometimes you take a beating for 3 rounds and come back and knock the guy out. Maybe I'm going through that kind of thing to see what I'm made of.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows why this is happening for me, but it's not happening to me. I'm not a victim of this situation.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of something that we always kind of like go back to, almost like the victim mindset a little bit. You're like, well, why did that happen to me?
Well, this is the way that I've worked through the noise. Is what I'm saying.
That
it's
makes
these
sense.
framework. It's just framework. I don't handle it any better than you. It's just I get to reframe the situation. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And then what comes first, the emotion or the thought? The thought comes before the emotion. So I get to change the framework of the thought. Then the emotion follows. Then I feel the emotion, let it pass like a cloud, move on to the next thing. And it just keeps going and going and going. We're humans. We're not robots. So we're going to feel everything. The problem is I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel like a loser. So I resist it. And then it persists.
Yeah.
And it keeps going and going. And now I'm obsessed with being a loser. So I've had to think about all these things, man, winning and losing, trying to come back, feeling like a loser when my knees blow out. Everybody's telling me, you'll never be the same. It's because of the way you move. It's this, it's that. There's no way you can do this. It's never been done. I have to work around. I have to reframe everybody's comments.
And you were like the first one that went through that. I think, I don't know who else really has gone through kind of like all the injuries and the...
I was looking for people to try to be inspired by that had done it.
Because you were the first one.
Nobody had been through that many.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, not at an elite level sport. Like the NFL, you had Adrian Peterson. The NBA, you had Derrick Rose. Both of those guys had 3 ACL reconstructive surgeries.
Okay.
Adrian Peterson blew the doors off of it, though. That really inspired me. He came back and ran like 1,000-yard season
After
his third ACL, after like 8 months of recovery.
Yeah, he was a beast. Yeah,
I couldn't even, I was like, okay, so it's possible, but I'm not that guy. So I got to figure this out. And then Derrick Rose, though, never really came back the same. Okay. And so that kind of worried me too.
Yeah.
But nobody had done it in MMA. The only one who had a knee blowout was GSP at the championship level, and then came back and won again at the championship level.
Was it more satisfying after the fact that you suffered, the injuries and still could do it again? Like, was there satisfaction that, what, I still got it. Everybody else told me that I couldn't do it.
See, this is again where it comes down to my own expectations for myself, or what actually made me happy, because I knew nobody really believed it could be done from my experience of the interviews. They're questioning it. So it wasn't like, I'll prove you wrong or right. It was more like, how can I do this for me? Because nobody thinks it can be done.
Yeah.
And it felt good to get it done, but it didn't feel better that I had gone. If anything, I was more embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah, I was embarrassed of my body breaking and not being able to stay consistent on my streak. I was always trying to let go of the fact that you're losing prime years of your career, Cruz. Like these comments, you're out for 3 years of your prime. And it's like, they're right. Because I had thought about it, of course. So I have to, it's always constantly all right, reframe this. Like, how can this work for you? Well, the reframe is, I lost prime years of my life, but I didn't lose them because I worked. I made adjustments. I found ways to get a job outside of fighting I've learned how to be with myself and deal with myself, that this is what it's going to look like when you're retired. What if you never come back?
Yeah.
What if you never do get back on the train again? What if you never win again? Like, I had to really take a look at these things while I'm laying on the couch in my own body for 3 years trying to recover, and I just keep getting injured. And it's like that ended up not wasting any of the time. That made the most powerful learning, and everything happened for me at the end of the day. Now that I'm outside of it, look at how much practice I have at feeling retired.
Yeah.
How many tools I gathered in that process, and then got it back together, and then came back and won. And so the tools I learned from feeling like a loser outweigh by far the tools I won from being the winner. It really did become a huge, and I hate to say that because it's kind of cliche, but at the same time, that's part of how this thing works. Like the losses become lessons, and the losses for me were the injuries. And I was embarrassed of that. I've always been. I'm embarrassed that one of the things that people talk about most is my loss, like against Cody and losing the belt. Nobody talks about all the defenses, like 7 title defenses. I beat the number 1 pound for pound guy on the list, Demetrius Johnson, and they had him ranked 1. I was number 2, and I had beaten him for 5 rounds. That nobody talks about the big things. They talk about the blemishes. And that's the same thing I do to myself. So it made sense. Like
So when you were in the mix, you were still in the mix. Like you were still active. You were still on the roster. What did you do to kind of, I mean, obviously you can't do a whole lot, but like mentally, was there something that like you did that really just stuck out? Like, nah, dude, like it was just noise. It was just more noise.
After which fight?
I guess I'd say out of the ones that probably stuck out to you the most, like was there one that like really stuck out to you?
The losses.
But what about the wins? Because like you were winning even with those injuries.
Yeah, the wins, they don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I started to realize I was giving no weight to wins and I was giving all the weight to losses. And why is this happening if they're one and the same?
I see.
And then when I lost, it's like, stop giving it so much power. Go celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
And then kind of bring that back to balance.
Yeah.
But I never really celebrated my wins. Even going through the process, it's like, okay, on to the next one. Yeah, I did great.
Like you would appreciate it. You don't smell the roses. I've kind of struggled with that.
Smelling the roses. That's where we're at right now. And you know, Wayne Dyer said it best. The space between the note is where the music is made, and that's where we smell the roses.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're at a constant hum.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like when I was winning, I would kind of dabble a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I did that. You know what I mean? And then I kind of take a step back. I'm like, well, there's more guys ahead of me.
But you're in the space right now.
I am in the space, and I have to be again. I got to be grateful.
I don't have to be.
I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't have to be.
You're human.
But I think if you're going to choose a way to, it's almost like if you can choose to be the best or to feel the best, wouldn't you want that?
Well, there's also a mourning process that's real.
Okay, now you're speaking facts. All right, yes, there's a mourning.
There's not just, hey, I'm the best. Oh, let me shake this off and no, man. You're human.
Yeah.
Feel the loss. Allow yourself to be in the questions of the loss so you can be in the lessons that the loss is here to give us.
Right.
Feel it, be human, but it's no feeling lasts forever, right?
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
So the way out is gratitude, yes, but we don't need to just switch to it. Yeah. It's like when we lose, losing is like losing a loved one to me.
Yeah, it does.
Each time I lost, I felt like I lost a piece of my soul that just fell off. And how do I get it back? And that's what it feels like when I lose a loved one. And the loved one is inside of me that I lost.
It's part of you. Yeah, because I mean, people don't understand on what we do and how much time we dedicate to this. Yeah, it's an obsession. And it's hard because like you can't explain it. Especially with, like even to my wife. I'm like, what am I supposed to tell her? I told her, I feel like a loser. I know I'm not a loser. This is literally word for word. I was like, I know I'm not a loser, but I feel like a loser. I feel like everybody knows that I lost. I went on to the biggest card in the history. 17 million viewers saw me fall. How do you not feel like a loser? And she's like, Steve, you're not a loser. I was like, I know I'm not a loser. I was like, I've accomplished more than anybody has even expected of me.
Is it okay to feel like a loser? That's the question.
It's a good question because I feel like in order to be better, you have to feel it.
Okay.
So choose to feel it, but obviously it doesn't make it any better.
Pain is pain.
Yeah, and it's weird because like punch me in the face 100 times.
Yeah, I earned it. I deserved it.
Yes, punch me in the face, but like
I get that.
The pain that you can't take away from inside, that's where like you struggle. So it almost like for me, I channel it into like almost like I just make the chip bigger on the shoulder. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like I thought I was gonna have this story where, you know, I lost to Singapore and then I went on this long streak and I made my way up to the top and I won the belts. You know what I mean? That was like something that I would kind of hope for. Like I said, I'm a man that I understand that life brings variables and you just adapt. And that's why I'm trying to be better at adapting. But that's not my story anymore. I lost. So now what's the next story? And I hope it's something along the lines of like, you know, Steve dropped the biggest ball and I don't know how many people that drop the ball in life. But I can come back from dropping the ball and I can come out and I can still go make a run at this title.
There really is no hope. I'll say that. We're all going to be cold dead and in a box at the end of this thing. And the only thing that we can guarantee is that and taxes. So
yeah.
What is it going to be for you? What are you going to make it is the question.
Yeah.
It's there because it's not a hope thing. It's not a try thing in this world we're in. Yeah. There is no choice.
I always say plan.
Yeah.
I always plan for it because we can't like the injuries. We can't expect that we're going to be injury free. There's things that can deter you away. But my plan It's to now bounce back from this and to go win 2 or 3 more and hope that
Let's
they
say
look at me.
intention. What's your intention? What do you want to create? Now that you've felt this, you're still mourning, which is human, and you're allowed. Allow yourself the time. I always said, how long am I going to allow this mourning process? And I choose it. And then after that point, then I start.
I think until I can get back in the gym.
Shifting.
The moment I mean, right now, I busted my knuckle.
How long are you going to give yourself to mourn this loss and be human? How long?
Until I can get back in the gym.
Okay. And how long do you think? A month?
I hope within a month.
Okay, so a month. That's fair.
Yeah.
Let yourself feel what you need to feel, right? Be human. You're not a robot.
Yeah.
Be with your family. Be with your loved ones. Let them fill you up, right? This is my invitation. I have no advice. I've lost and it's not fun, but this is all I can do. But to just try to say, oh, I'm not sad. Come on, let's be honest here. This
because I think that's where like you go back and forth so much because you're like, bro, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
You're mourning.
Yes.
You know, and honestly, I never even thought about that until you just brought it up.
Well, it sucks.
It's part of the conversation.
I know what it goes to, I know what it's like. It's not fun, man. It's a mourning process. It's a mourning process. Yeah. And you're watching it.
Yeah.
Over and over and over
Bro,
and over.
For like 4 or 5 days straight, it was me getting knocked out. For 4 or 5 days, like, I was like, to hell with this, bro. You know what? I was like, I'm honestly happy. I am happy that Gaethje and Topuria had the fight that they had because
took some shine off.
You took some shine off of it, bro, man. And I'll tell you what, that was an epic fight. But my goodness, dude.
You know what? Another thing I think of too that supported me is how many people I did that to.
Yeah, and my wife.
Do that to?
My wife. Yeah, exactly. My wife threw that at me the other day. She's like, you know how many people you done that to? She did that. I was like. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't have one without the other. There can only be one. And this is the game we're in. And it's just what's hard about it is our ego. It's hard to watch an ego get killed. And it's an ego death, isn't it?
It's a bit of an ego death. It's a pride death. There's a lot of things that
pride comes from the ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all the same.
Because I can be proud of the accomplishments that I've done, but man, it almost takes it away.
Yeah.
I can't let it. Because I am proud that like I went on that streak. I'm proud that like. And honestly, I was an underdog in probably at least half of those.
Yeah.
No, people don't expect people to like me, at least to come through. You know what I mean?
Well,
so,
that's a story you've made up, which empowers you, but that's not necessarily true for anybody else who doesn't know you.
To an extent, yeah. To an extent too.
No,
you know what I mean? We're making. All
we know is what we see up there. All we know is you're fighting the best guy in the White House. You got to be nasty.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at you the story that you just made up.
Well, are you the one looking at me like that, or do the fans look at me like that? And that's where I think I got to.
What the fans think. What do you think about yourself? Yeah. That's how you shut the noise off.
Yeah,
Steve.
Okay.
It's what do you? Your Jordan said it. Your expectations of yourself are all you can uphold. You're never going to please anybody no matter what.
Yeah.
Never. So hopefully you can give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Allow yourself
it's turned into a therapy session, everybody.
It's not a therapy session. This is reality. This is life.
Yeah.
This is what I said in everything I've lost, man. This is what it looks like. And you're not the only one going through loss. Like you lost a fight. The whole point is this platform is a parallel to life. Sport is a parallel to life. And we're put on this platform to show the world what they're capable of in wins and losses.
Yeah.
So you're here to be that.
And that's like the other thing too. I'm glad you said that. Because so when I came back home from Washington, I come home and my son, it's like late at night and he's like excited to see me. He's like, Dad, did you win? I was like, no, man, I lost. And dude, he almost started crying. Actually, I could tell he's holding back. And dude, it hurt me, bro.
That's what hurts us the most is we let our fans down.
It like hurt me. And
he's your fan.
But I had to look at it because Dad hasn't lost in 4 years. I mean, he's 6. So I've won majority of his life. And so I was like, and I told him this because he's a little cheater, bro. This kid, he loves to win almost at all costs, dude. And I was like, what do I say when you lose? Because sometimes, dude, I will smoke this little kid. I will smoke my son. I'm like, nah, you lost, dude. Sorry. And he won't want to play no more. But either way. And I was like, what do I tell you when you lose? You got to try again. I was like, Dad, you just got to try again. Dad's going to get back up, because he saw my face and I was busted out. I mean, my stitches and all that stuff's pretty much gone away. But, and he said, Dad, why didn't you win? You were in 9th place. You need to be in 1st place. I was like, Dad's going to get back to the 1st place. He's all into Super Mario Kart. So right now he thinks everything is a race. And I was like, look, dude, it just takes me a little bit longer, but that doesn't mean Dad's going to stop. You know what I mean? But I also have to teach him how to lose. And how I show him how to lose matters.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I try my best.
Well, there you go. That's the see how you just talked yourself right through this. So who's the power of you getting through this? It's the example that you are in loss for your family and for your loved ones. That's the example you're going to be. That's what you're carrying.
Yeah, for sure.
And to even notice that.
Yeah, like I said, I do it for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think I even said, I was like, I would die for them. I will always go down swinging. And it's probably not the best thing. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I probably could be a little bit smarter. I know my IQ level is a lot higher than what I can always show. You know what I mean? But and this is where like the fan thing, I got to get away from the fan thing a little bit. Because I go into a fight, what do the fans want to see? They want to see violence and blood.
Remember, what you want to see is the same thing they want to see.
Yeah. And so honestly, I want to give that too, but it's not. But that's not always the case, because, like, for me, I don't want to win by decision. I want to dictate the outcome of this fight the way I expect to, or at least die trying. And I don't know if that's the smartest way to go. I think like I need to get better at, like, a decision's okay, or winning by points is okay. I gotta get away from the mindset that, like, I'm going to go for broke unless he knocks me out first.
Well, again, you're in the questions.
Yeah.
There's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
So let's end with this. Who is it that you think after this comeback would allow you to show who you are the best when you return? To show how you handle loss, to show that there is no really stopping you. I mean, everybody's lost to an extent. Like Pereira lost.
Sure.
We've seen Conor lose.
Sure.
We've seen the best in the Ronda Rousey lost. Topuria's lost. No, it doesn't. You don't get out of this, man. So, who's the return after the mourning process, which is allowed?
Sure.
What's next?
Honestly, if I could have it my way, it would be a get back at Diego. It would be, but.
Let's say they're not going to give you that.
I'd want like Gene Silva or Arnold Allen. I think those would be good fights to get back on track. I think I don't even know, the whole ranking system's all jacked anyways, but one of those.
Josh Hokit shows you the ranking system doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I guess so.
So what? So
I want something ahead of me so that I can push my way up to the top. And if not, it doesn't really matter.
What if not? What are you intent on?
Just beating whoever's next. Yeah, I don't care who it is.
Who's the intention?
Like I said, the intention is. You
just said a couple.
Yeah, it's just the next person that will get me back on track. You know what I mean? I think those. Well,
who is that? You're the only one who knows. So this is direction. You're in the questions, and I just want to say you asked. So this is what I can say.
Yeah.
Direction is more important than destination. What direction do you need to go, and what intent do you have on it? Find
forward.
It and
for
go
me,
create.
It's forward. Anybody ahead of me, if they're ahead of me, then that means that you think that they're better than me. So then I'll prove them wrong.
Can't wait to see it, bro.
Yeah, man.
You're the man.
Hey,
thank you for talking to me. Thanks for being so open. I think you're going to give a lot from this conversation to people. Everybody's going through loss. Not one person in this whole world on earth is going to not go through loss, and not just sport loss, just loss. And this is the parallel. And you doing it on an open stage to give that away to people, whether they respect it or not, I sure do.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the platform and, bringing me on your podcast, dude. Like I said, this is kind of full circle moment for me. So thank you. I do have a question. Just one last question.
Yeah.
If there was one fight you could come back to, who would you come back?
I would, if I could come back and fight another fight again, the one that feels like unfinished business for me, it's between the Cejudo fight and the Cody fight.
Okay.
Like I think I can, because it was my first loss in many years to Cody, and the one with Cejudo, I do believe that there was 1 second left on the clock. I had done what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
According to the refs' standards, which is get back to your feet, defend yourself at all times, and stand up. And I did that, and they stopped the fight early for me. So that one kind of feels like unfinished business. Like if I was to die, I'd become a ghost and have to finish that.
Sure.
It kind of just feels undone.
Yeah.
So that's like
let me just finish it.
Yeah.
Let's just finish it.
Yeah. Even if you knock me out, okay.
You beat me, whatever. But
not that way. Not the ref going, oh, I'm scared of how you look. Like what?
Yeah.
Nah, dude.
Dude, I went to your sorry, I know where you're
no, you're good.
You taught a seminar back at Factory X a long time ago.
I
was one of those guys there, bro.
Wow.
I was one of those guys.
It's great. Full circle, like you said.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I drove at least 7 hours. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm serious, dude.
Well, but that's the obsession and the commitment we're talking about that got you to that streak and that got you to where you're at. So don't forget it.
No, dude, I owe you a lot. So thank you for being the fighter that you are. Like I said, the footwork, all the above were instrumental to my game. Man.
You're the man. Keep it going, bro. Let's keep it going.
Brother. Stay up.